Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes.
We want back ends. Wipe my sins. They can't win. No new friends. Football fans. They sleep again. We wake them up. The champs is in.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Levi's Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was deafening. They're set for football as the 49ers get ready to do battle with the Los Angeles Rams. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. First carry now for the former Viking. This is Jerick McKinnon. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. A dump down to McKinnon. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And now the Rams have got it. Going the other way. There he goes, right side. And he will score. Touchdown, LA. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more.
21, 11.
Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dante Hightower. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
5 yards on the carry, good pickup on 1st down. Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Solomon Thomas there on the tackle.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, a new set of downs gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
And a solid run down inside the 30. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. Here we go. It's Gurley. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as he'll wind up going backwards. Todd Gurley unable to get it past the line. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. Now McKinnon to start the drive. Oh, that's just not fair. And now room to run. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, it didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
12.
Now McKinnon. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. The tackle there by LaMarcus Joyner.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's McKinnon. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On the toss, it's McKinnon. The pickup of 11, and it moves the chains.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4 down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Toss play, McKinnon. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. On the stop was Aaron Donald.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Now a toss play. It's Breida. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Robbie Gould on now to try the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And Gould is able to put it through, and the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what...
And the Niners get there and bring him down. Solomon Thomas in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They go play action with Gurley. Now Goff, eluding the pressure right. Bryant with a catch right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 36 yards. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Crashing in from the end there, not to disrupt the pass game, but to disrupt the run game.
Yeah, I love the distinction, too, because the good defensive ends, they can do it all. Set the edge in the run game, make sure that no one can move it that way, and, of course, rush the passer. On that play, use the speed to get there in the run game.
Here's Goff now on 2nd down. Dancing to his left. Out left side here to Bryant. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A really nice gain of 25 yards. On 1st down, it's Gurley. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Goff. On the crossing route, complete. It's Bryant. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll get it up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Here's Goff. Flush to his right. Stepping up, he'll try and run. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down. So third and goal, and the 49er faithful making some noise for their defense. Now Goff. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And Zuerlein's kick is good. And that will knot things up here late in the first half. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on third and just a yard. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. McKinnon. And the broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. First down now, but the clock continues to move. On first down, Garoppolo. He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. To throw on second down is gone. Being chased out left. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Out of the gun, Goff. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Third and long. It's gone. And the open receiver, it's Robert Woods. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down. Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Now they'll pitch it back to Gurley. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 10 more there and another first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Gone. Flushed out right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. He tried to buy some time to the right. So, Charles, when a guy gets out of the pocket, what's the focus of the quarterback?
Most of them keep their eyes downfield. They want to try and make a play throwing the ball. Like some of them, they want to tuck it and go. But when they scramble, in this case, as you said, to the right, you're cutting the field in half. So good defenses kind of converge in that spot, and they don't give you much territory to throw the ball. He had nowhere to go with it, ends up getting the ball stripped.
Here again is McKinnon, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down. The Niners on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Breida. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
13. 11. 13.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They run it with McKinnon, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. The tackle there by Mark Barron.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They run with Breida. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Back now here in Santa Clara. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. They run once more with McKinnon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Here we go. Hurry up.
Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to break our fourth quarter tie. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. We still wait on the first touchdown of the game, but a second field goal now makes it a 6-3 score.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would call this the definition of winning ugly. To me, this is gorgeous. I'm a defender, right? I love these kind of games. The tension is high. Who's going to make the play to win it? And right now, that field goal may be the advantage they need.
Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. We come up here on 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. You gave the stat early on that he's one of just 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards last year, and then you said they needed to bottle him up for under 100 yards. He's way under 100 yards.
Bottom line, he's had virtually no success whatsoever.
And because of that, among a couple other reasons, they're down on the scoreboard. A play fake to Gurley. Now gone. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Reuben Foster in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. So Goff, he'll try to refocus after the sack. The Rams now set up with a tough one, a 3rd and long. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Here's Johnny Hacker now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Now, that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, breaking it the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge fourth-quarter stop? Here's Bradley Pena now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Rams are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over. And the Rams getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the gun, here's Goff. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Super 66.
They'll look to throw. They got a man. It's Woods. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Gurley. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. They'll give it to him up the middle. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in. It's Williams. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
Another stop on 3rd down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is indeed good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Williams to return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Rams offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, That gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. He wasn't able to really get anything going in regulation. Maybe it'll be a little different story here in overtime.
And it appears that with that call, they want to establish the run in overtime, try and set the tone for what they're going to get done. And you're right, maybe it didn't work so well in regulation. Overtime could be the charm. And by the way, yards count either way.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. Yet another carry here tonight for Gurley. Room to run past midfield. Todd Gurley, wave goodbye. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you.